when you recite daily isn't just about stories or faith in the abstract. What if it's actually, a highly technical governance manual for your mind?
That's the core idea we're exploring.
Yeah, we're taking a deep dive into a framework that sees spiritual practice not as, ritual for ritual's sake, but as a mandatory operational protocol.
For cognitive development.
Exactly. We're talking about the Absolute Divine Governance Equation Framework, or ADGE, and central to it is the cognitive self, which we term the FINEF, your internal operating entity.
Okay, the finesse.
And the whole premise really is that life's ultimate purpose is this continuous optimization process, focused squarely on maximizing the development, the inner depth of that FITEF.
And this framework points to one specific text, Surah Al Fatihah, as the key,
Yeah.
like the ultimate diagnostic and calibration sequence for this FNAF.
Precisely. The idea is when you engage with Al-Fatiha daily, you're not just reciting words. You are actively pressing your entire cognitive state against the complete blueprint of the system, which you call the 10 elements of Deen.
That's the structure, yes.
So our mission today, for you listening, is to give you the shortcut to understanding this idea of cognitive sovereignty. How does this daily pressing against Al-Fatiha actually develop those 10 elements? How does it move you from just seeing surface data to operational truth?
That's the goal. Let's jump in.
All right, so if it's a governance manual, rule number one, element one has got to be terminology, definitions. A precise system needs precise language.
Absolutely. You have to reject what the framework calls linguistic corruption, or facade, especially the kind driven by just raw, unchecked rational thinking, or RT.
So how does Al-Fatiha start building this correct terminology for the finesse?
Well, look at the very beginning. Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. Right there, the system is locking in foundational linguistic motifs, defining the terms of engagement.
Okay.
So, for instance, Allah in this ADGE framework isn't treated as just a name. It's redefined operationally as the self-executing governance system.
The system itself. Wow. Okay.
And this cascades down. You see radical redefinitions of terms we thought we knew.
Give us a key example, one that really shifts the practical application for someone.
Okay, take Timan. Traditionally, it's translated as faith or belief, often passively.
Right. Just believe it.
But the ADGE framework translates Iman as safety and security. Why? Because true safety, cognitive security, comes from correct alignment with the governance system. Your active reliance on the system is what grants the security. It's not just blind acceptance.
Okay, that's huge. So for my offense, my internal self, the practical difference is massive. If Iman is just passive faith, I basically wait around. But if it's security,
You have to act.
I have to actively align myself to achieve that security. I have to choose to reject, say, the common definition of Jannah as just a physical garden
Exactly.
and recognize it as concealed insight, the cognitive reward, which makes perfect sense if the whole point is cognitive development.
It has to align. Alignment starts with the language you use inside your own head. If your internal dictionary is off, the FNFs simply can't execute the protocols correctly. It leads us from words to structure.
Right. Once the terms are set, any manual needs to define who does what. So element 2, roles, and element 4, authorities. Al-Fatiha seems to do this immediately. Alhamdulillah, Rabbi Lalamin.
Precisely. You have the governor, Rabbi Lelaman, which is framed as the sustainer and evolver function of the Allah system. And then you have the governed.
Us, the FINEF.
Yes, the cognitive agent, the FNF, represented by the Nabudu part, we seek serve. The role is to cede, which is the root concept of Islam, to that governor function.
So acknowledging that hierarchy. And what about authority? Element 4.
That's nailed down by Maliki Yamiduddin, the sovereign of the Day of Established Order, or the Day of Deen. This establishes the non-negotiable principle of sovereign authority. It's fundamental. It's the safeguard.
We hear a lot about shirk. In this framework, you describe it almost like a computer virus, a kernel-level corruption. How does acknowledging Maliki Yamiduddin prevent that specific failure?
Okay, think of shirk as the ultimate system error. It's elevating a faulty, subordinate system like your own unaided rational thinking, RT, to the level of an ilah.
Which means?
An ilah is a governance reliance authority. It's what you fundamentally rely on for guidance and truth. RT is great for, local tasks, figuring things out day to day, but it doesn't have the big picture, the full data set.
So relying on it solely is the mistake.
It's the catastrophic mistake.
Yeah.
If your FNAFs decides its own unlimited reasoning is the ultimate source of truth, you've essentially installed a corrupted operating system kernel. Affirming Maliki Yamiduddin and Al-Fatiha is like your FNAFs, running a daily admin check, actively rejecting that root error, keeping the correct authority in place.
It's like acknowledging the operating system is superior to the processor chip. Makes sense. And that ties into element 9, domains of application. Because Rabbi Alaman, Lord of all realms, suggests this isn't just personal.
It's total. The governance, the mulk, covers everything, all realms, seen and unseen.
Mm.
And here's a key point about the physical universe itself.
Yes.
It's not just stuff that happened. In this framework, it's understood as a semantic field, a purpose-built, customized incubator
An incubator for what?
for the FAFIX.
Uh,
The entire environment, the things you interact with, the challenges, they exist to provide the raw data, the semantic context, the linguistic terms your FNS needs to extract meaning and develop itself.
Mm.
It's all part of a closed-loop system for your optimization.
wow. Okay, that sets the stage perfectly. We have the terms, the roles, the authority, the scope. Now we need the actual instructions, the methodology for self-correction.
Exactly. And this brings us right into the heart of Al Fatihah, specifically Element 5 rules and Element 7 procedures. The core operational rule is right there. Iyyaka na'budu wa iyyaka nasta'in.
You alone do we seek as governor, and you alone do we accept as a source of guidance. That sounds absolute, like a complete surrender of independent thought.
It's about aligning the source.
Hmm.
It's a critical directive. The non-negotiable rule is all ultimate governance, all final guidance must be sourced from the absolute governor, from Allah, not from your own RT, not from societal trends, nothing else.
Okay.
This rule is the absolute prerequisite for the primary procedure, which is salat. And we really need to move past thinking of salat as just ritual prayer movements.
So unpack that. If Salat is a core procedure for the FinOps, how does it work cognitively? What's happening beyond the physical?
Think of salat as self-governance and calibration. It's the discipline application, yes, involving physical posture and sequence of the governance protocol directly onto your own cognitive system. The immediate aim is to achieve cognitive silence.
Cognitive silence, where?
In the kursi.
Okay, another term. Kursi. Ground that for us.
The kursi is conceptualized as your cognitive seat, or maybe think of it like your conscious processing unit, your CPU. It's where active thought, deliberation, decision-making happens.
And above that.
Above that is your overall worldview, maybe like your operating system or the cloud connection. When you perform salat, the structured physical discipline imposes order, forcing the normally chattering kursi into silence.
Like a system interrupt.
Precisely, a deliberate system interrupt.
Yeah.
And that imposed silence is what allows the kursi to become receptive, to receive and accurately reflect nur.
Nur. Divine guidance or light.
Yes, but understood as coherent, actionable guidance flowing down from the arsh, the overarching system. The physical actions of salat create the necessary cognitive state to receive it.
So the physical is inducing the cognitive state. That's the pressing process you mentioned earlier, al-sa.
Yes, that pressing, that calibration allows for the extraction of al-haq, which is operational systemic truth, from asid,
Asid.
perceived truthfulness, surface data, what seems true based on limited observation. As SIDQ might tell you fire is dangerous because it burns. Al-Haqq reveals fire's precise function within the governed system. Salat forces your finaf to push past the surface, to seek the deeper governed reality.
Okay, this extraction, this pressing sounds, well, difficult. Like it requires serious effort, maybe even involves facing discomfort or pain. Which brings us to element 6, policies, and you use the diamond metaphor.
It is difficult. That's part of the design. The core policy is set by the request in Al Fatihah. Idina al-Mutlastaqim, guide us to the methodology.
The methodology, not a specific outcome.
Exactly. The policy is seek the process of cognitive development itself, not specific worldly things like wealth or status as the primary goal.
Okay, so tell us about the diamond. How does that connect to hardship to us?